Imagine waking up one day and no longer trusting your own memory, no longer being sure what actually happened in a conversation, apologizing for things you didn't do, feeling crazy, but unable to explain why. This is not a psychological disorder. This is not weakness. This is what happens when someone deliberately and systematically dismantles your grip on reality. It has a name. And once you understand how it works, you will never be fooled by it again. The term gaslighting comes from a 1944 film called Gaslight. A husband systematically manipulates his wife into believing she is going insane, dimming the gas lights in their home, then denying the lights ever changed when she mentions it, moving objects and insisting they were never moved, telling her she was forgetful, unstable, imagining things, until she begins to believe him, until her own perception feels less reliable than his version of reality. What the film captured was not fiction. It was a psychological phenomenon that had been happening in relationships, institutions, and political systems for centuries, just without a name. Today, gaslighting is one of the most searched psychological terms in the world, because millions of people have experienced it and spent years unable to name what was happening to them. Clinical psychologist Dr. Robin Stern spent decades studying gaslighting dynamics. She identified it not as occasional dishonesty, but as a sustained pattern, a systematic erosion of another person's confidence in their own perception. The goal is not simply to win an argument. The goal is to become the other person's reality, to be the authority on what happened, what was said, what is true. Gaslighting never begins with a direct assault on reality. It begins with small, almost imperceptible distortions, a slightly different version of what was said. A memory questioned so gently you wonder if you misremembered. An emotion labeled as overreaction, so subtly you feel embarrassed rather than suspicious. These small distortions are designed to create doubt, and doubt, once planted, does the gaslighter's work for them. The 4 core tactics. First, flat denial, stating with total confidence that something did not happen, was not said, does not exist. The confidence is the weapon, your uncertain memory against their certainty. Second, trivializing. Your feelings and perceptions are labeled as oversensitive, irrational, or crazy. You begin to pre-censor your own reactions. Third, diversion. Every attempt to address the issue gets redirected to your faults, to an unrelated grievance, to your mental stability. The original issue never gets examined. Fourth, forgetting and denial combined. They claim not to remember events you remember clearly, then suggest your memory is the problem. Over time, these tactics compound. You stop trusting your instincts. You seek constant reassurance. You apologize reflexively. You explain your feelings less because they have been labeled irrational so many times that you've begun to agree. Here is what sustained gaslighting does to the brain. Chronic psychological stress elevates cortisol, damaging the hippocampus, the brain region most responsible for memory consolidation and retrieval. This means gaslighting creates a biological basis for the very memory problems it claims to identify. The accusation becomes self-fulfilling at the neurological level. Additionally, humans are wired for social reality testing. We naturally look to others to confirm our perceptions. This is a survival mechanism. In healthy relationships, it creates shared understanding. In a gaslighting dynamic, this same mechanism becomes the vector of attack. The person you most trust to confirm reality is the person actively distorting it. Your brain's own social wiring works against you. Neuroscientist Lisa Feldman Barrett's research on how the brain constructs perception shows that what we experience as objective reality is always partly a prediction, a best guess built from past experience and current input. Sustained gaslighting corrupts both. It rewrites past experience through false memory implantation and corrupts current input through systematic denial. The result is a person who genuinely cannot trust their own mind. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change. But show me. Don't just assert it." The Stoics placed enormous value on the examined perception, on testing what you believe against evidence and reason, not against someone else's forceful insistence. The antidote to gaslighting begins with documentation. Write things down immediately after they happen, not to build a legal case, but to give your memory an anchor that exists outside the relationship. Your written record from the moment becomes evidence your future doubting self can return to. Second, find one trusted external reality check. One person outside the dynamic who knew you before, who has no stake in the narrative, who will tell you honestly what they observe. Gaslighting thrives in isolation. A single reliable witness to your reality is enormously protective. Third, trust the pattern over the incident. Any single event can be explained away. A pattern cannot. If you consistently feel confused, crazy, or at fault after interactions with a specific person, that feeling is data. The Stoics trusted reason over assertion. Trust your accumulated experience over their version of individual events. The husband in Gaslight succeeded because his wife had no external reference point. No one who could confirm what she was seeing. The lights were dimming. She was not imagining it. You are not imagining it. If you consistently leave interactions feeling less certain of yourself than when you entered, that is not your psychology failing. That is someone else's psychology, working exactly as intended. If this series is helping you see more clearly, subscribe. Next video, we explore the dark psychology of emotional manipulation. The specific language patterns used to control people. You will recognize them immediately. See you there.